Hi, and welcome to another episode of Nuclear News Today. This afternoon we'll be having a segment on the Fukushima nuclear disaster and its effects. Now we're going to take it over to our special guests in Studio 2 to tell you more about the event.
Welcome to our fun educational Fukushima nuclear disaster segment.
And other stuff.
The Fukushima nuclear power plant was located on the small island of Japan, and on March 11th, 2011, a terrible earthquake and tsunami struck the land.
Let's take it back to Studio 1 to learn more about the reactor setup.
The nuclear power plant is composed of 6 different reactors. The reactors are made up of many different rods, and these rods do a series of different things, from setting off fission chain reactions to cooling the reactor's core and absorbing extra neutrons to contain the reaction. A series of pipes run in between these rods, and they distribute the coolant, which keeps the core from overheating. When the earthquake happened, all of the electricity went out in the plant, which caused the reactors to overheat because their cooling systems were not receiving any power. Each reactor has a backup system in case of a power outage, and they managed to get everything back into working order. And it's back to you, Einstein.
Shortly after everything was up and running, a tsunami caused by the earthquake struck the island and caused destruction to the already damaged power plant.
Reactors 1, 2, 5, and 6 were not extremely damaged by the tsunami, but reactors 3 and 4, which were located at a lower elevation, received a lot of damage. After a short period of time, workers managed to restore reactor 3's backup power source. Ultimately, it was reactor 4 that caused the problem.
The tsunami submerged the external power source of reactor 4. And since the reactor had already gone into shutdown because of previous seismic activity, it was the only source of power keeping it running. So, once it was submerged in the water, the pool under the core that was used to regulate the heat levels began to heat up to extreme temperatures, causing an overproduction of hydrogen, which eventually led to a major explosion. Boom!
Workers thought that the fuel was overheating and addressed the wrong problem by dumping large amounts of seawater into the reactor in an attempt to cool it down. This delayed the real problem from being solved and pushed the progress back a full 48 hours. Eventually, they managed to restore power to the cooling system and got the facility to shut down properly.
The explosion itself released tons of radioactive particles that caused devastating effects to the surrounding areas.
Any contaminated food, however, was restricted, and effects on the public were minimal. Around 2 million residents in the nearby area need to be monitored to determine the radiation dose received. Residents closest were monitored and received at least 2,000 rem from ground contamination. The further from the incident you were, the less you received.
However, the cleanup would be a difficult task. The issues included processing the large volume of the contaminated water, debris, soil, secondary wastes, potentially damaged spent fuel within the reactors, and damaged fuel and debris within the reactor's preliminary containment structures. That's the places where the water collected inside the buildings. Also, it's estimated that the cleanup and decommissioning of the nuclear power plants will take around 12 years. Another issue is the contaminated water that was dumped into the reactors. Well, it will mix with rainwater and is staying in pools around the facility. So, in 2011, 2 temporary water processing systems were added, and they're running at 90%, and in 2012 they added another one because, let's face it, sister, 2 just won't cut it.
As a whole, 300,000 people were evacuated from the area, and 18,500 deaths were linked to the direct accident and its after effects.
Thank you for joining us on Nuclear News Today. And remember, stay away from radiation because it'll kill you. Yay, science!
Draw me like one of your French girls!
Absorbing extra extra newtons. Extra newtons. Extra newtons.
Here's a stereophibin.
It's composed of
I wasn't ready, hun.
Huh? This is being filmed? Ah! Hi!
Alexandra, what are you doing?
There's something in my cup!
Wait, we're gonna start? You filming already? Can someone tell us what she wants? Hi!
Alright, let's get serious. A tsunami!